Well, it's JJ, it's the Lone Star Burner. We are here. We are ready to rock. We are ready to talk hockey. My buddy Weldon's joining us here in a little bit. Let's start the show.
What's up?
I apparently do not know how to mess with technology today.
Oh, okay.
It sent
I,
you three different invites. I am so sorry.
I didn't think it was going to be this quick. I thought it was going to be like a few minutes, and then when I get the notice, I was like, "Oh crap!" I was like, "Let me go grab some water and get in there and get ready."
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
Oh, you're
sorry for
good.
the short notice. My head feels like somebody's trying to rip it off and like use it as a what do you call it? A dreidel, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
my
kind of painful.
yeah, it's hurting pretty good.
So, so how you been? Hadn't talked to you in a while. Hadn't been on.
Yeah, no, I've just been yeah, it's been all right. Bumpy, but we're good. How about you?
Been good. Just working. So
Just
working, going to
working.
games. Working, going to games. So
Yeah, I really do like the live stuff you do. I'm like I'm like I don't know how do I explain it. It's like number one fan. I don't know. I'm reaching.
well,
I'm a
some of the people that can't make it to the games, and they still like to see kind of what goes on. And
yes.
I've got I've got friends from Corpus that watch it all the way down to a friend of mine in Australia that he'll watch it if he catches it. And
Australia.
yeah, he's always very impressed with what the stars do and everything. So to us, it's kind of like, okay, this is the same intro that we get every weekend. But this last week, the Saturday afternoon game was actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had all the like sons and daughters of the
Oh.
people that actually do the work.
Mm.
The kids were doing it.
Oh, sweet.
Like Selena, our singer, her
Yeah.
daughter was doing all the announcing mid game, stuff like that. And the kids were really, really good. I mean, there's some kids in there that's got some talent,
Uh oh.
you know.
We're
Uh,
looking at future Dallas Stars people, I guess.
oh yeah, yeah, very, very much so. I mean, you could tell that they were reading it, but some of the kids were like the one that does all of Jeff K's announcements and everything. I don't know who she was related to, but she was awesome. She was like probably 11 or 12 years old, maybe. You know,
12?
yeah. And she
Oh my.
she sounded like a seasoned announcer. She was calling the power plays. She did the announcements of the lineup and everything. So she did a good job. Kudos to the stars on that one.
Was that when they had the mother trip or whatever it was? Not mother trip.
That was
Mother
that
day.
was right after the mother trip.
Right after. Oh, okay.
So the
Okay.
Nashville game was the mother trip, and um, and then that was the Edmonton game on Saturday. So the mothers were more than likely they were probably still around. So
That's crazy. That's been a fun couple of games too,
yeah,
man. They mopped the floor with Nashville.
yep. And then I mean, they played a hell of a game against Edmonton. They played a hell of a game today. I, I'm still saying it. They need to get rid of the shootout. They just,
Yeah,
they just need to go to a longer overtime, 3-on-3. Bump
back
it up,
in the
bump it up to 10 minutes. If you can't win in 10 minutes, then it's a tie, 1-1.
makes you kind of or makes me wonder. Actually, I don't know about you, but makes me wonder why they didn't just keep the tie because everybody wants to go back to it now. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think the newness of I mean, the shootout was cool, for a while, but I mean, I don't think it should decide a game, you know, because
No,
there's some teams that are really, really good at it, and then there's some teams that suck at it, you know. You've
and
you've
it
got
kills
those
their effort.
you've got those one or two guys that are great at shootouts, but they can't score, a regular goal, but
Yeah.
I mean, like today, I mean, that I think that's the longest that we have gone into a shootout in a very, very long time. I'd have to go back and re-listen to Razor and see if he says, you know, when we had a shootout that went 9 rounds deep, you know. So
Was it 9 rounds?
9 rounds.
Holy moly!
So you know and I will not blame the Stars at all today for their loss, I mean, because they played great 60-minute game. Swayman is just he's a freaking badass goalie.
He is.
And it's like I put up in the diehards today as like the US goalies are gonna be freaking scary next year when
Oh
they
yeah.
when they do that, you know 4-team nations, or whatever it's going to be called. And you've got guys like Ottinger. I think Demko is a U.S. goalie. Hallebuck, Swayman, Ottinger. That's a scary group of guys. And who do you pick? You know.
We'll see that the quick and well, sort of good maybe
Hmm.
solution would be to play one versus like I don't want to say well maybe it is the better way to say it. What if you put each one in for their skill set?
Yeah.
Like let's say Ottinger against Sweden because he knows how to stop this guy, and that guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I can't find the right terminology for it, but
Yeah.
I think that's how you should do it.
Yeah. That that little tournament's got me very intrigued. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is. That's going to be in the Olympics, right?
No,
Or
this is in lieu of the All-Star break next year.
oh, okay.
So I don't know how long the tournament will be. If it's, you know, I'm sure it's got to be more than one and you're out. You know, so if it's a double elimination tournament, or or what it is. So yeah,
Oh,
because we
so
won't have an All-Star break until 26, and they announced that today or yesterday that it's going to be at the New York Islanders arena.
oh,
So that'll be another one I won't go to.
you're not going to go all the way to New York for that?
No, nope.
Oh,
I would love
so
to go to. I would love to go to Finland for that game that they announced this week, but I've got a wedding to go to November of next year sometime. So
my gosh. Speaking
no,
of which,
no Finland for me. And
dude,
that would not be a trip that would be like, oh, we're just going to fly over for the game and then fly back. Because it's
yeah,
about a 26-hour flight. So I would want
The
to spend. I would want to spend at least a week there.
for 26 hours, heck yeah. God, I can't imagine the pain that would be.
Yeah,
26 hours just sitting there.
just sitting. Well, I mean, I'm sure the plane's big enough you get to get up and walk around. So,
Well, some people.
well, usually the international flights are much bigger planes.
I was cracking on myself just then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you just be sitting there and rolling around.
Bored to death.
Yeah. Hey, you
Ugh.
could always play the Limp Bizkit song, you know.
Oh no, don't do that.
So,
Oh, funny you mentioned that. That was actually one of my favorite songs growing up.
oh yeah, I love that. I love Limp Bizkit. So,
I blame the Undertaker for it too,
yeah.
and my sister.
So, 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 what did you think of today's game?
I was deflated, for lack of a better way of putting it, because when I looked at the shots, they were up 2-1, like 30 something to 15 or some mess like that, and it was always a 2-1 advantage, no matter which way you shook it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, they're out shooting Boston like it's their job. Why aren't they winning 5-1?
The Swayman's that good.
He's something, man. Like I'm sitting there thinking too, at probably the beginning of the third period, I was like, you need to find a bus or something.
Yeah.
Like you got to block him because wow.
Yeah. I'm not sure how big he is. So, but I mean, he sees the puck so well, you know. So,
He is crazy good. And you know what? I will admit that, when he was first starting out, I didn't think that he would be one of those guys where you look at him and go, oh yeah, no, he's just that good.
yeah.
Like I hear that and I think of Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah. He's 6'2", so he's not huge, but you know,
That's a big boy though.
6'2", 194, so you know.
He's kind of scrawny.
But yeah, when I was watching the warm-ups and everything, and then they, did the projection for lines and everything, and they didn't have Duchesne, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Why is he not in the lineup? And then I read that Miro wasn't there, and I'm like, wait a minute, why is he in the line? Why is he not in the lineup? Oh, his wife just had, her girlfriend or whatever, had a baby girl. And I was like, never even heard that she was expecting, Never saw anything on social media about it or anything.
I
So
didn't even know he had a girlfriend, so I'm out of touch too.
yeah. Yeah, he's been with us. He's been with the same girl since he came here. She came from Finland, I think, with him. So,
Oh,
yeah, we saw her the first time that we went to casino night. So
nice.
she was hanging with all the other ladies, and so
The wives and girlfriends.
yeah, the wives and girlfriends. So
Well, congratulations to the Haskinen clan.
yeah, I know. I know Lindell's wife is supposed to be having a child soon. I see things every now and then about her and everything. So, it's amazing. We used to go from a team that only had, like one or two of the players that had wives, and, now they're all getting married. Now they're all having kids, and,
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, what the
they're
heck
all growing
happened?
up.
Yeah.
So,
What?
but yeah, that game today, I mean, that they played their ass off,
They did.
and
It sucks to see it robbed from them via shootout.
yeah,
I mean,
and
like,
even on the Oiler game, that penalty in 3-on-3, that was such a weak penalty. I came home and I watched it the next day, and I'm like, he barely tapped him on his hands, and you're calling that? And I was like, it's like the refs need to let them play. You know,
McDavid was the one that got tapped, wasn't he? Or no?
I don't remember who. I think it was. I'd have to go back and watch it again, but I mean, it wasn't like it was a blatant call, So it was just, you know,
That kind of makes you wonder though, because McDavid.
yeah.
Okay, so they're gonna do whatever they can to protect him.
Hmm. But it wasn't, it was a bear. He barely hit him in the hands,
Yeah.
you know. So I mean, technically, yes, that's slashing, you know, but if it's not hard enough to impede him from taking his shot or making a play or whatever, it's like just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And if you're gonna call it against somebody that's a pretty boy, you need to call it the same way on everybody else.
Oh yeah.
That's what I think.
Oh, I said the same thing about the Super Bowl because I actually watched it. I didn't have a dog in the fight, so because I don't care about pro football. But there were so many blatant missed calls and or calls for the Super Boy, Mahomes
Mm.
and the other guy. Um, that's where I wish refs would just, if it's blatant, yes, call it. But if it doesn't affect the play or anything, no, don't you know, don't inject yourself into the game.
Right.
You know.
Because to the untrained eye, it seems like you want to have a say in that game anyway.
Yeah. I mean, there were a couple of missed calls today, and the ref looking right at one.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it that got high stick right off a face off? Um,
Oh, that was oh, who was it? I know what you're talking
and
about.
he and
Third
he
period,
took
right?
a good little pop right in the mouth. Didn't make him bleed or anything, but I'm like, the referee's standing right there looking at him. It's like, okay, call that. But don't inject yourself to where you can make the game swing one way or another. But
See, that's what I worry about too, because again, you're gonna have Bettman. Bettman's already hated, so
yeah,
you're gonna have people going, "Okay, fix your officiating crew, do this, do that. Bettman
yeah,
sucks because of this." Like, you're gonna have a better reputation if you are more stern with it.
hmm,
And there are people that throw that out there. Oh, the refs versus blah 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 versus blah blah blah,
yeah,
because they don't. I guess they don't like to lose,
yeah,
but yeah, sometimes it does play out like that.
yeah,
It shouldn't.
yeah. I don't like to see us lose either. But I mean, if our guy does something wrong and it's very apparent, yes, call it by all means, but call it fair both ways.
Yeah,
You know.
you can see the players sit there with their hands up in the air, like, "What did I do?"
Hmm.
A lot of times too,
Yeah.
they're just sitting there shrugging. What I think it was it Jamie Benn one time? No, Sagan was one of the most recent ones I saw,
Hmm.
and it was a couple of games ago. He was sat with his hands up in the air, like, "What? Come on!"
Oh, that was I think the Nashville game.
That was Tyler, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think I think I know which one you're talking about. They called him for a trip or something like that.
And I think he was pushed.
Yeah. Well, and it's
There
like
was,
today the penalty that Suter took right there at the end, where there was a little fight in front of the net, for just for space. It
uh huh.
wasn't even Suter that tripped the guy, it was Lindell. And it was because the guy basically pushed him from behind. It wasn't a cross check. Because he didn't blow through him. He just kind of shoved him. And when he went down, he tripped the guy. But yet Suter got called for it. And I'm like, wait a minute, that he didn't do anything. It's just like
They
that's why I wish there was reviews in, if there could be a coach's challenge for a penalty.
that would be a good rule change. It really would. Like,
because
you,
some of these guys, they'll go and they'll get a high sticking call all because they throw their head back, you know. And then
seen that.
if you challenge it and you see, oh, he hit him in the chest, but he threw his head back, and that's what the ref saw, then you wave it off. Then you get the other guy gets an embellishment call, you know. I,
That'd be
I I
nice.
don't I don't like the flopping in basketball. I don't like it in hockey. I don't like it in football. It's like get that crap out of the game.
For sure. Almost
That's,
makes you look like you're not good enough.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's why Marchment there for a while was, he wasn't getting some of his calls because he was selling some of those calls pretty hard.
Like you should have been auditioning for WWE.
Yeah. You get you, and I love when the guys they get hit in the front of their skates across their laces and they fall. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, come on, guys, that's not a trip. Now if you get your stick in between their feet, okay, that's a trip. But these are probably some of the strongest skaters. Well, I mean, they are some of the strongest skaters in the world. Getting hit across the top of your feet with, a stick that weighs less than a pound, it's not going to make you fall down.
I mean, maybe they shouldn't be on skates. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
I love the art of, drawing a call or whatever, but they need to get the flopping out of the game. So,
or add in to the Olympics some diving.
Yeah.
Okay, why not?
Well, I mean that's what a lot of teams were saying about Marchment there for a while, that he was diving to get calls, or and then he'd get busted in the mouth and he wouldn't get a high sticking call against the other team because he's getting that reputation of a guy that's just trying to get a penalty.
Crazy.
It can come back to bite you.
Yeah,
So,
it really can.
So what do you think about what's going to happen here in the next few weeks with trade deadline?
I'm gonna stay with what I've said all season. I don't know who you trade. I mean, I keep seeing, oh, we need is it a left-handed defenseman?
Right-handed defenseman.
Right-handed. Okay. I keep seeing we need a defenseman here is what I keep saying, regardless. And it's like, do we? Who do you give up though?
Yeah, and that's the thing, because they're talking that what is it, Tanev and Hannafin.
Ooh.
I think one of them they were looking for either a first or second round draft pick and a prospect, and I think one of them is a UFA. I think Tanev is a UFA at the end of the year. So then you have to try to get him to agree to stay at your team, or you just gave up something for, a rental player.
You mean like what they did for what's his name?
Zuccarello?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. And there were a lot of people that said we should have kept Zuccarello.
I was one of them that was hoping he would stay.
I liked what he did when he was here. He
Mm-hmm.
just wanted too much money.
Yeah.
And it's hard to justify between spending all that money and then eventually what they ended up getting in Pavelski.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. What is Hannafin and Tanev worth?
I don't know what you do though, because you need the left. Did you say left again? I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
So Christopher Tanev is a right-handed defenseman.
Okay.
He's 1 year till he's UFA, which is the end of this year. He's 34. So he's not a young guy.
No.
But he's already making $4.5 million. where Noah Hannafin is making almost 5. He's 27. He's left-handed. They both have modified no trade clauses. So, and they both come off of Calgary's books this year, 24-25. Or yeah, next year, 24-25. So then they hit the complete open market. But
That's a tough one. I mean, could they use either one of them? Yeah, obviously.
oh yeah, they could definitely use either one of them. You know,
But then again, like, who do you give up because you don't want to buy the farm?
yeah,
You really don't. And thank God I'm not in Jim Nill's position because, yikes,
yeah,
I wouldn't even be that smart. Like, if you can convince, who would I pick? I don't even know who I'd pick between the two.
yeah,
The younger guy probably, but
yeah. I mean, Tanev plays a very hard, aggressive, style of defense. That would be my only thing at bringing him in. While yes, we kind of need that. Two, it, I, I've never followed the guy that much, so I don't know what kind of uh, his health history is. You know,
mhm.
so if he's been injured a lot or not. So that would be my biggest concern. Let's see. Let me pull him up here. Oh, well, so far this year, he's got 1 goal, 11 assists. He's plus 10. So,
Okay, so he can make stuff happen.
yeah. So, let's see. His shortest tender was 42 games, and that was back in 17. Most of the time, he's playing 60. He played 65 games last year, 82 the year before, 56 the year before that, that was the bubble. So he's staying pretty healthy, you know. So
You can check that box.
6'2", 193. So he's not a small guy.
No, not really. Put him with who? Hockenpah, maybe?
Well, yeah, it could be.
Or Lundqvist. I don't know why Lundqvist and him sound like a good idea, but it has me curious. See, this is why I'm not Jim Nill and why I'll never be a GM because you get me X amount of players and I'm just going, okay, how can I make this work? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm not that smart with it.
See now on stats this year, I would take Noah Hannafin hands down. He's already got nine goals, 21 assists, 30 points plus 10.
Ooh.
He's pretty much high 70s, almost every year. He's 6'3", 207, and he's 27 years old. So he's 7 years younger than, the other guy.
Okay, I can see
So,
why people are drooling over Hannafin then.
yeah. So he's a little bit younger, and I think he has, I want to say he's actually got he's up this year too. But the other one that there's been some rumblings about is Rasmus Anderson.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, for Calgary.
Oh my.
He's 27 years old also. But he's got a little bit of term left. He's still got 3 years on his contract.
Mm.
So, that one might be a little more bargain friendly for him to bring in. Let's see what he's got on. I don't want Ian Anderson from the Atlanta Braves.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
I sometimes hate Google because when you punch in, a player and it's like, oh, this is the player you're looking for. No, they're not even in the same league. You know, it's like
Yep.
why are you showing me baseball players when I'm on a hockey page? So Anderson has 7 goals, 21 assists, 28 points. He's +2. 27 years old also. Oh, he's a Swede. We need a Finnish guy. Hey, we lose a mafia guy, we got to fill it with a mafia guy. You know, we don't have the Swedish mafia.
Why does that sound like a bad rock band?
Yeah. Well, we've got the Finnish mafia, but I guess if they brought in another Swede, there's a buddy for Niels Lundqvist
There you
because
go.
he's Swede and he's
Did
6'1", so
Oof.
he's not bad. So you know, so there. I mean, there's a few names that Neil can look at, and then you've got other teams like the Ducks and the Sharks, and who can you raid out of those clubs that that are definitely going to be sellers. So
Mm. Who would you go after on the Sharks?
I don't know. I don't really follow the Sharks that much just because they're so bad. You know?
He's like, I'd follow them a little bit more if they were just
Yeah, if they
fun.
were a decent team,
Come on, man. You gotta follow everybody. We're doing a show together.
No, I don't follow everybody. That's too much work. That's why I gave up playing fantasy hockey. I mean, I played that for years, and um, then I kept up with everybody.
Yeah,
You know,
you have to because you're trying to figure out who
yeah,
you want to get for your team.
yeah.
I sucked at that, man. You had to remind me daily. Set your team.
Wow, I didn't realize that Giovanni Smith is playing in San Jose.
Really?
Yeah. Um, Damn, now I forgot his first name. The Smith that used
Jamel
to play
Smith's
for
brother?
us. Jamel. Yeah, that's it.
I was kind of mad to see him go. I thought maybe he would do something here too. Jamel Smith.
I always liked Jamel. I so
And now we'll never know
I always thought he was a really good player. He didn't score a lot, but I mean he was hard on the puck, and he was just he was a solid player.
That's kind of what I feel like the Stars are missing. I saw somebody on one of the Stars groups that I'm in say something about a hard nosed player as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it was you. I don't.
Uh,
No, maybe not. It was but they said if we had somebody that was a little more hard nosed, maybe we wouldn't lose so many pucks, and maybe we'd be able to dump it in and go get it, that sort of thing.
I mean, recently, I mean, their aggressiveness to go get the puck that has changed. I mean,
Thank God.
you know, we could. I've switched over to the Ducks. We could always go after Radko Gudis. As much as I can't stand that guy.
Oh man. Okay. There was a time where I would have said heck yeah because I liked him at one point. I believe he was with who was he with? Nashville?
He was. Well, he's been with Tampa, Philly, Washington. Wow, I didn't realize he played for this many teams. He's been with Florida for the last few years.
Maybe that's what it was. I thought he was with Nashville though when I first saw him. Has he played for Nashville at all?
No.
Okay, I'm pulling
Tampa,
stuff.
Philly for 4 years. Washington for a year, and then Florida, and then he took a pretty good contract to go to um, the Sharks. He's doing
Okay.
that. He's doing that for money.
Ew. That's
So,
not somebody I want on my team at all.
well, he was going to get pushed out this year. So they have Florida's got cap problems too, just like everybody else. It's any good, you know.
Overpay to keep
So
everybody.
yeah, exactly. Or they overpaid to bring someone in and everything, you know. I don't know what kind of money he got on his, but I mean it's been funny listening to some of the teams that are talking about, certain players that might get shopped. I mean, Trevor Zegras' name came up that he might get shopped. And I'm like,
What?
why would you give that kid up? I mean, build your team around, him and McTavish, you know, they're a young, very young team, you know, kind of how we're going to be in a few years when we lose Jamie and Tyler and Suter and Pavs and, those guys, we're going to swing back to the younger side of the league again. So,
That's gonna be crazy.
but I don't know. I don't know who Neil would possibly be looking at that could really improve our defense. These last few games, the defense has gotten better. Uh,
Yeah,
because I think they held the McDavid to 3 shots on goal. They kept him bottled up pretty good.
that's pretty crazy.
Um, so
For the untrained hockey fan, they call McDavid McJesus. So
yeah,
there
he
you go.
he is he's a special player. It's definitely a privilege to watch him play. Seeing him and then seeing Bedard over New Year's Eve, I honestly was not that impressed with Bedard.
I mean, Bedard's good, but he looks like he just fits in.
You know, so
That's probably gonna get me some crap for some people, but I don't think Bedard did anything or does anything to stand out.
no, I mean, he's an extremely fast skater. He's got incredible hands, but I mean, seeing him play 2 games in a row, you know, I didn't see that. Oh my God, he's so amazing. When I first saw McDavid, I saw that. You know, and I
Yeah,
think we even they beat us the first time they played us. Um, and yeah, I think he actually got a goal. Um, but he actually had that wow factor, you know.
yeah,
And I hope when Bork and Stankoven come up, they bring that same wow factor. You know, that's like everybody on the pages when Dadenoff went down. Are they going to bring up Stankoven? Are they going to bring up Bork? And the two guys on the post game shows addressed it pretty quick, and they're like, no, they're not going to bring those guys up. Why would you? Why would you bring them up for a guy that got hurt on the fourth line? You're
true.
not going to bring those guys in and throw them down to the fourth line, and they're going to play for 8 minutes a night, or they're going to set the penalty box, or not the penalty box, in the press box. It's like,
No, you want them on the ice.
yeah, those guys need the ice time.
Yeah,
They're great right now. They're only going to get better, but they need that ice time. You know, now if something turns out and Duchesne is out for a long time, hoping he's not, then you might see one of those two boys come up because we have no one else to fill his spot. You know,
right.
I mean, we were running with 17 players today. We didn't even have a full complement of people on the ice. So,
That's crazy.
yeah. And that's why I said even though they lost, I am not going to throw any shame at them. They played a hell of a game. They played very, very well. And I know Boston's been playing like crap here lately, they said. I think they said they've won 1 out of 6 of their last games or something like that. They haven't been playing good.
They just lost to New York like 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Or last night, whatever it was.
So, but it was.
And then we got New York tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank God it's not another early game. Yeah. So, but yeah, so at least it's back to a regular time. The players can, do their normal stuff, and hopefully Miro can catch a flight tonight, be there for tomorrow, because I'm sure he sent all his stuff with the team, I'm sure he's telling his wife, okay, baby, I was here for the childbirth. I got to go back to work. You're gonna be here for a day or so. Daddy got to go make some money. So
this show just went off the rails. Why not just roll with it?
Oh yeah, we'll just roll with it. Talk about players, child, kid, having kids and everything else. Hey, but makes it fun.
Big city hockey, though. Here we go. This is the starting point for
New York's going to be a fun one. I mean, they had an exciting game the other day outdoors.
That was a fun game. I watched every last bit of it.
Did you? I didn't watch either one of them. So
that thing, I did not see New York doing what they did.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they shouldn't have had a problem with the Islanders because the Islanders aren't that good this year. They're mid-pack. So, they shouldn't have had a problem with them. But
man, and they did. They gave them a run for the money.
Yeah.
The Islanders did the Rangers. There we go.
Yeah, because the Islanders are 58 points. The Rangers are 76 or 75 points. We're actually ahead of them now.
Huh? Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So we are tied for second place in points in the entire NHL.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Huh.
We are tied with Florida. With 76 points. I take that back. 70. Boston has 77. They have a game. They have games in hand. So
what the?
So we're third.
Not by much.
Not by much. By 1 point. There's only 4 points between us and Vancouver at 80 points. And Vancouver got spanked today.
Did they?
10-7.
Oh, that's right. I had a friend telling me about that. 10-7. Do those guys have defense or nah?
Well, they played Vancouver.
10-7 though.
Yeah, and that's the Wild that beat them.
The Wild scored 10.
The Wild scored 10. They scored 7 in the third period.
What? What?
There were two hat tricks in the game.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Eriksson Ek and Kirill Kaprizov.
Kaprizov. Ugh.
That's incredible that you have. I mean, I thought the other night with 9 with Dallas was bad.
That was fun. I love that game.
Yeah. So
10-7 says somebody's missing defense though.
I just wonder how many goaltenders they went through.
Carry the one, added 2. All of them?
Oh, DeSmith took them all.
What?
Yep,
Oh my
Casey
God.
DeSmith took every single one of them. He took 8 goals against on 25 shots. He ain't winning the Vesna this year off of one game.
Golly.
So,
At least Jake didn't have to face that. Jeez.
well, and on the other side of the coin, Fleury took 8 saves, 2 against, and Gustafson took 5 on 16 shots. So,
Good
so,
grief.
so neither goalie was very good that day.
No, apparently not.
So,
10-7.
yeah.
Almost as bad as our 10-6 game against, was it Chicago?
Buffalo
Buffalo? Was it last year or this year?
last year.
Last year.
There were a lot of big score games today. Flames put
Yeah.
up 6 on the Jets. The Knights put up 4. Oilers put up 6 on the Coyotes.
Uh,
Maple Leafs put up 4 on the Blues. Ducks put up 4 on the Sabres. So that was a lot of big scores today. Yeah.
Yeah, but not as big as 9-2.
No. Or 10-7,
Yeah, 10-7. Man. So they got Big City hockey, Big Apple hockey tomorrow.
Yep.
And back to back. They've already lost the first game of the back to back. How much worse could it be?
I mean, they played good today. It's not like they played a bad game. Got a point out of it. The Rangers, they kind of play that same style, that heavy style. But Stars they were quick today. They weren't that quick even on the Edmonton game. They were kind of hanging with them, but they weren't that quick. They were really, really, juiced up today and ready to go. And that's, and that's kind of been some of their problems, of here of late is they'll get that slow start, so
that could have been what they've been missing too.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need somebody out there pushing people around. Maybe you just need to start like you believe in yourself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, they started off good in Nashville. They started off good in Edmonton, and then they started off really good against the Bruins. If they can keep following it up, I hate to see them, get behind, not get that first goal, but it seems like it doesn't affect them like it used to. Because like last year, if they got down that one goal or a couple of goals, it seemed like they kind of cratered a little bit, and then they really, really had to claw back into it. This year, it's like they know they can score. Because they basically have 2 top lines. Now the Avengers line they're kind of in a little slump right now. They're not scoring like they used to. I didn't like when DeBoer put Wyatt up there and moved Pavs down to the third line because I felt that kind of affected Pavs' game.
Yeah.
And I mean today he had 2 really nice opportunities and just couldn't beat Swayman, in which, and at least this game was not we're making a backup look like a Vezina goalie. This guy is, probably going to be in the conversation for the Vezina possibly this year. I mean, he's an all-star goalie. It's not like he's some kid that just came up and this is his first or second game, because we do have a habit of doing that, So, It sometimes, playing seems like they sometimes play down to their opponent. So,
I've
you
said
know,
that I don't know how many
you
times.
know,
I agree.
with this trip, they're not going to be able to play down to anybody,
Nope.
because I mean they all these teams that they're going to face are teams that are going to be in the playoffs.
Yep.
So, you've got Boston that's, I think they're leading their division. You've got the Rangers that are leading their division. Um, their only bad game is going to be Ottawa, just because they're a crap team and um, they're not getting in the playoffs. But you've got Carolina again. Then they come home and they play, the Islanders, which the Islanders, might be in it. But then you have another back to back where we go to Colorado and play. You know, so
I'd be afraid of that one.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what Colorado's schedule is right around there, but you know, I mean, they hung with Colorado until they screwed up there right at the end and everything. But when they played them that last time, so they've just they've got to keep that consistent intensity, like they had today. I mean, because they were outworking Boston.
Mm-hmm.
They were beating them to the corners. They were getting the puck. Even if they weren't the first one there, they were winning the puck battles. So, it was, they just played a different game today. Their face-offs were pretty equal, 35-32, in favor of us. They still got to get that power play going, you know. And I know Duchesne is a big part of that power play, but and so is Miro. So I mean, you took two major pieces out of the power play today.
What
So
happened to Duchesne, by the way?
they never said. I want to say, what was it? Is it upper body or lower body? Let me look.
I hadn't heard about it.
Let's see. Injuries. Lower body is what it said.
So something in his leg.
Yeah. Leg,
Wow.
back. Nils is cut per concussion protocol.
Oh, great.
Dadnoff, I think he's had the ankle surgery or foot or whatever it was. I think he got some new hardware put in, some screws.
Oh, he's down for a while.
Yeah, they said he's out indefinitely. So
Okay, so he's done for the year more than likely.
good chance.
Well, possibly anyway.
Yeah. Now, granted, I knew players down in Corpus that they skated with broken feet.
Jeez.
If they could get their foot in their boot and lace up their skate, they played.
God, and I thought I was a human tank.
Yeah. So, Palat and Petrovic, they looked pretty good today. Give them a day of practice, and at, at least they're a pair. They played together in Texas. They're on the same line.
Oh, that's good.
So at least they know each other's traits, and that's one thing I hope that Neil addresses in the draft. That because I think we're pretty thin at defensemen, especially since Liam Bichelle hasn't come back yet. So,
Oh, that sucks.
he's just over in whatever league he was playing in when they drafted him here, so he's not hurt or anything.
No.
So, but they said he was supposed to be coming back soon. So
That just kind of throws up a red flag to me that he isn't back. You know what I mean?
well, the league that he's playing in over there, I don't think they finished yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think he was coming back when that league finished, which I don't understand why he left. I thought he was getting plenty of playing time, and or maybe he just didn't feel comfortable over here, or you know
That's kind of the way it
homesick,
seemed.
whatever.
That's kind of the way it seemed after everything that I've read. It's like you just wanted to go back, and it's like, why?
Yeah,
And if I was in management down there, I'd be like, well, what can I do to make things better for you? Or can
yeah,
I at all?
yeah,
Like, ouch. Who knows? All I know is, man, I'm questioning what the Stars can carry from Boston into New York tomorrow. That's just me, though.
yeah,
Like, because New York just came out of that overtime game with the Islanders,
yeah.
right? So they're not too unfamiliar with overtime. I don't know if they played today, though. Did they?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so they're going to be well rested. We're coming off the overtime. I just don't know about this game.
I think that they're going to come out and probably play. They've got to get on it quick. They've got to get in there and get a few goals. Right quick. So, you know, because if the Rangers, because the Rangers did not play today, no. So, you know, they're going to be at least a little bit rested.
Man, they've got Panarin, they've got Kreider.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Oh,
I
it's going to be a good game.
I just hope they don't get pushed around. Kreider scares me, and I think I
Yeah,
made a
he's
big
he's
deal.
just a great net front guy. Zibanejad hasn't been as good as what he normally is. You know,
Ooh, Zibanejad. I forgot about him.
yeah, because he's only scored 18 goals this year, and then you got Trocheck. You
Only
know,
Trocheck, man. That team can kill you from anywhere.
I would have loved Neil to have grabbed Trocheck when they let him go from, was it Florida, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And because I used to always have him on my fantasy teams because he was such an awesome face-off guy.
Yeah.
And just even that. I mean, that was another reason why I like Pavelski so much, is he was such a dominant face-off, guy. And there were times that they won games for me just on their face-offs, you know, with the amount that they would win. So,
Nice.
but yeah, I wish Neil would have. I wish he would have gone after Trocheck. So
Well, I mean, in hindsight, that wasn't a bad decision, though, either.
no, no, and I think that they're going to play pretty well tomorrow. I think they've got their confidence back. When they had that little couple of game, losing skid, but I don't. Still, have they lost 3 in a row? I don't think so. Have they?
I don't think so. I'm gonna have to go look now.
So,
Since you asked me, I'm gonna have to go look.
yeah. So,
I don't know. Uh-oh. If I look at the schedule, it's gonna kick me out of the podcast.
oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind.
I learned that when I was trying to start it with you just a little bit ago.
Oh,
Yeah, that was stupid. Yeah, it's been a rough show. Uh-huh.
yeah, let's see. Of course, you can't go backwards. Let's see. Oh, that's February. Oh. Yes, they have lost 3 in a row.
Once.
Once.
Was it a month ago? Is that right?
Yep. When they lost to Montreal, they lost to Colorado, and they lost to Nashville at home.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
then they went on to beat, Minnesota twice in a row, and then lost to Nashville, and then they won 2 games, lost a game, won a game, lost a game, and then went 4 in a row. So you know that that's a nice thing. They're putting up points. You know,
Yeah,
even if it's I'm okay. Even if it's losing in overtime, it sucks. But hey, you still get that 1 point. You know,
true.
so
It's
but
kind of reminded me.
I think it'll be a good game tomorrow. I think they'll come out and hopefully especially if Miro's back. That's gonna get everybody up on their toes again and be happy to see him and congratulate on the new kid and everything. So
Should light a fire under him too, I would hope.
hope so. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
if him and Harley can keep playing like they are, still kind of iffy on them two together. So, but I don't know who else that they would put up on the top line with especially with Hawk and Pie out, Nils out, and everything. So, but
So the back end's kind of a mess, is what you're telling me.
yeah, the back end's kind of thin right now, at least for NHL caliber. I mean, which I know both those guys. Um, Pretty sure that both of those guys have played NHL, so with different teams. So, but
Crazy.
yeah. So what do you think on score? We'll wrap it up with a prediction on score.
After today, part of me sees what they've done when they've lost, how they've come back and gotten real angry sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If they can start out like they did against Boston and they can net a couple of them, I'd say maybe 5-2 Dallas.
I'm thinking 4-2 Dallas.
Not much of a difference there.
No, I think especially if Miro's back, I'm thinking defense gets at least 2 tomorrow.
That'd be nice.
I mean, it's getting to where it's pretty much happening on a regular basis with Harley scoring or Miro finally starting to score again or Nils getting one. I I was so praying that Hanley was going to hit that open net today, and he just barely missed it because he's our only player that doesn't have a goal.
He kind of seems like he's snake bit right now.
Yeah. Well,
Man,
maybe the dancing with Marchant will light a fire under him because that was not much of a fight.
that was one of the most pitiful hockey fights I've ever seen. The
he,
other one
he
was
he was sure looking to crush Marchant, but he just missed him. If he would have gotten that hit in, I don't think Marchant would have got up.
you
Because I
don't
mean
think?
that was a hard hit to the boards. And I mean, Marchant just barely moved. So, but
Well, maybe he's the guy that we can convince to be hard on the puck or hard to the puck, whatever you want to
he's
say.
hard on the puck. I mean, I like when he plays. He could set out 4, 5, 6 games, and then they throw him back in, and it's like he's never missed a beat. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
some of the other guys, they don't do that. So, but yeah, I think 4-2 Dallas tomorrow. So I think
I
that'll
like
be
your score.
so.
They need a bounce back. That's all I can tell
Yeah,
you.
they need to bounce back, and they seem to play just as well in front of Wedge as they do in front of Otter.
Oh, is Wedge playing
Wedge has
tomorrow?
gotten I'm sure it's going to be Wedgwood.
Okay.
So, but
But yeah, I see it. I didn't mean to cut you off, but now that I hear you say that, it does kind of seem like they're coming around to both goalies now.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for because you've heard me yourself call
Oh
for
yeah.
Wedgwood being traded.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, now I don't know who to trade.
Yeah. Oh, it's not going to be a goalie. So
No, it shouldn't be. That group's fine.
yeah.
I just worry about Matt Murray coming up and playing. I'd still think that's fun. That's a
Yeah.
fun idea.
He's going to get his chance. You know, he'll be the next backup probably. So
Hopefully sooner than later.
we'll let him get through this year. So
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, all right, man. Well, I got to get off here. I got a few things to do before I go to work tomorrow morning. So
yeah, me too. Hey, thanks for helping my headache go away.
not a problem. See, you get your brain to working, and the headache goes away. So, get you thinking about other things, So, but
yeah, that helps a lot, actually, more than you know.
Yeah, but yeah, hit me up later in the week if you want to do another one after one of the other night games, and so we can do
heck yeah,
quick hour or so. So
heck yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, man. Well, you have a good night, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully, we come out with some more points.
Yes, please. More than one.
Yes, need to finish it in regulation.
Just finish it.
So
just finish it. That's all I'm asking.
All right, man. Well, you have a good night. We will talk
sir.
to you again sometime else this week.
Sounds good to me. You have a great night too. Thanks for your time.
Not a problem, man. Go Stars.
Go Stars. We're out.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.